Hi everyone, Cheryl here. It's December 2nd, 2025. Time is just flying by. I can't believe how long it's been since I did a video before, but anyway, I do them when I feel inspired and when I have messages from my team. And in the wee hours, I received some info from my team regarding some solar activity. So we have had quite a few solar flares lately and CMEs and lots of activity on the sun with coronal holes and coronal mass ejections. Now, there have been triggers for volcano activity and earthquake activity as a result, which if you follow daily events worldwide or the fellow who posts that solar information, he gives quite a comprehensive listing of what's going on with the solar activity. But anyway, my team was sharing with me in the wee hours of the morning that this solar activity that we've been seeing as an uptick is really to get our awareness and our awakening happening, and it is also um, activating a third strand of photon light DNA that's weaving into our two-strand DNA. And this third strand is bringing in a very strong high vibration of Christ consciousness and a higher level of love vibration, so that there is more understanding, more compassion, more caring, and it's to counteract the negative energies that are taking place on the planet. I was also told by my team that ancient cultures and civilizations were very aware of the sun as a sentient entity, and that the energy that it shared was crucial and instrumental in our vitality, in our day-to-day life, in our growing cycles, in our health, um, just on so many levels. And that is why a lot of the ancient cultures revered the sun and had the sun as their central focus, whether it was the Egyptians or the Mayans or whoever. Um, in many cultures, the sun is, sort of the center of their whole philosophy. Um, and so I was being reminded of the fact that the sun has an immense amount of power, and this sentient energy is meant to be shared with us and to help us to grow and advance as a civilization, as part of our solar system, as part of our galaxy, as part of the cosmos. Uh, we are not these isolated beings that are separate, uh, much like our culture would like to try and promote, separateness and conflict and differences. We are part of a vast communal web of connection, and the sun is actually activating this third strand of our DNA, and it is showing up as, it was shown to me as this photon light spiral weaving in our DNA strands that is going to solidify, but it is also creating a little bit of adjustment and adaptation right now. Because of all of the changes in the earth and the sun and the solar system and the cosmos, our nervous systems are sort of being tested and challenged, and we need to do things to try and strengthen our nervous system. A lot of people are having nervous system disruption, whether it be numbness, whether it be agitation with muscle cramping, or issues with um, the spinal column and the nerves that run through the spinal column, whether it be, issues with sciatica, or, neck issues, or, like I said, numbness can be happening in the hands, the feet, the legs. This is all nervous system disruption. And I was told that we need to take good care of our nervous system. And some of the things that were shown to me was, not just your usual B vitamins and nerve support things in that regard, but I was getting a message about lithium and how lithium is important. Now, I know that lithium is often prescribed for things like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia. However, lithium is also something that helps to calm the nerves down. And I'm not sure exactly, what is available. I didn't have time to research this. Like I said, this was sort of a wee hours of the night or morning that this information came. I haven't had a chance to really research it, but I do think that there are things that we need to be mindful of right now. I'm just going to check my notes because I did write down a few notes. So along with this light code of this new light strand that's weaving in our DNA, this level of vibration of love is something that we have not experienced yet. It is a much higher vibration, and it's also going to trigger new and higher levels of oxytocin in our system, and empathy is going to expand. And the nervous system is being activated, and it needs more nutrients to hold this new vibration. This is something that we haven't experienced. We're being anteed up, we're being propelled into a much higher vibrational state. And if you are going to take more B complex, you have to take a much higher level than what would normally be taken. So instead of taking a B100, you might have to take 300 to 500 milligrams of a B complex. I was also told that GABA would be good, choline, more omega-3s, more flax oil. Those things help to protect the myelin sheath around the nerves as the nerves are being kind of challenged and activated. And again, this lithium. Now, I'm not sure if there are natural sources of lithium or foods. I will have to research that. The cell salt or the tissue salt, caliphos, is very, very important right now. And then using things like organite and tensor rings, and also Celtic sea salt to maintain the whole electrolyte balance to support the nerves. And it's almost like they were sharing with me that our internal battery needs to be supported. Now, the interesting thing that I do know is that lithium is used in, I believe, I could be mistaken, but I do think lithium is part of battery manufacturing. And the information shared with me is that our battery, our electrical system, our nervous system, which is connected to our battery system, if you will, needs to have that lithium. And I thought that was kind of interesting that they referred to our system as a battery. Um, so our battery needs support right now. And so, you know, this whole thing with the sun um, being sort of, you know, highly active lately we've had several X-class solar flares in the last few days. We've had a lot of high M-class solar flares, lots of coronal mass ejections, lots of electromagnetic field disruption, lots of northern lights, lots of solar activity. And this is all part of us being upgraded with this photon light DNA activation with this third strand. This third strand is light at this point. It is not solid, it is not detectable, but it was shown to me as a photon light strand. And it is going to, over time, start to solidify, and it's going to actually allow us to have more intelligence, more connection to the cosmos, more connection to our intuition, more higher brain function. Um, so many things are going to take place, and it's all a result of this whole evolutionary phase that we're going through with the sun. So my team was sharing this with me. The info was coming in too fast. I tried to make a few notes. I feel like I might have missed some info. I may get more info, you know, today through the day or tonight, because sometimes that happens when I get these downloads or get this team sharing with me. I continue to get more information over the next day or two. So just be aware that we are going through some big changes right now. There's a lot of activity taking place with the sun, but also astrologically and with the time of year, with the new moons and full moon cycles. There's just an awful lot of activity happening right now. So I just wanted to share that with you. I will do some research on the lithium because I feel like that was important. And I don't think the lithium is necessarily, you know, prescription lithium. I think the lithium might be from natural sources or alternative sources or something similar to lithium. But lithium came through loud and clear, and that it is vital for our nervous system to advance, to be able to handle this photon strand that's being woven into our DNA, this new third strand that is actually, I saw it as sparkles in this spiral that are weaving into our DNA strand. So the sun is activating this, and this is a major step for humanity. People who are not in the physical healthy state to handle this upgrade are going to be exhibiting a lot of nervous system disorders. They're going to have, you know, they might even have dizziness. They may get the shakes. They may feel very, very off balance. They may feel fatigued. They may feel nauseated or may get disruption with digestion, the vagus nerve, the breathing. Like there's a lot of things that can be affected through this overstimulation of the nervous system. And on top of that, of course, we have things like 5G, which is stimulating to the nervous system, and that overloads it. But this is a different kind of an upgrade from the sun that is demanding us to adapt. to take on this new love vibration, this higher vibration that we have not experienced before. Um, it is a new level for humanity. Anyway, as more information comes in, I will definitely share it with you. Have a fantastic day, and I will be in touch. Take good care. Hi there, Cheryl here again. This is part 2 of my post on December 2nd. It was really sort of bothering me, and I did a quick little research on natural sources of lithium. So um, some of the things that contain lithium are the nightshade family, which I think is kind of interesting because the nightshade family also contains trace amounts of nicotine, which, if you follow Brian Ardis, he is an advocate for using nicotine patches to help with uh, blocking receptor sites for things like spike proteins and shedding, um, and also for other things that are health promoting. We've been sort of told that nicotine is sort of evil and addictive and all of those things. However, um, some of my research has shown that it's all of the chemicals and additives that they put in cigarettes that make it more addictive. And I remember doing research 25 years ago, 30 years ago, and that there was actually trace amounts of heroin in cigarettes, which I think is kind of a horrible thing to do to get people hooked on something like that. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. We won't get into that. Um, so lithium is in things like the nightshade family. It is also in, let me just have another look here. If you drink mineral-rich spring water, there are trace amounts of lithium in that. And again, potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants, those contain some lithium. Things like lentils and chickpeas and beans also contain lithium. And seaweed and kelp and nori and dulse, those kind of things also contain a certain amount of trace lithium. And then it also shows up in things like quinoa and barley and oats. Spinach and Swiss chard and arugula, those things contain a certain amount of it. We're talking trace amounts. But, you know, if you're eating those things on a regular basis, it will help to support your nervous system. Things like sage and parsley and coriander and cilantro. So those kind of things will provide trace amounts of lithium. And you can use that to help support the nervous system. So it was just bothering me. I needed to do some research on that to add that to my post about the sun and you know, the information that I've received from my team regarding this upgrade to our system with this photon DNA activation, this new light strand that is being woven into our DNA, and with time it will start to solidify and be more thoroughly integrated into our DNA. But right now we're going through this adaptation period, which is straining our nervous system. And, you know, lithium was sort of the key thing that could help the nervous system to adapt, all along with some of the other things I mentioned, like GABA and some of the omega-3s and flax oil and things like that that help to protect your myelin sheath around the nerves. And those will also help by increasing the amounts of that, and also taking higher doses, much higher doses of vitamin D, and also I mentioned the cell salt caliphos and choline, and using things like orgonite and tensor rings and various things to help to calm the system down and protect your system while you're going through this adaptation period. It'll help to protect you from overstimulation, because we get an awful lot of overstimulation of our nervous system already with 5G towers. I live between two 5G towers, and I can actually feel it. I know I feel it, and I actually can sense the vibration of it. I do a lot of things in my home to try and block that and to protect myself. So, we need to be mindful of all of this, and know that we are going through a massive upgrade right now, that is affecting our nervous system and is affecting, how we're going to be changing with this new strand of photon light DNA and this new level of love vibration, this new level of oxytocin in our system. We may be more emotional, we may be more sensitive, we may have this numbness or tingling in our extremities, or have issues with our back. Like, there's just so many things that can be affected. Or digestion. People might feel nauseated more easily, they may feel jumpy, they may feel out of sorts, not really understanding why that's happening. And this is all because of this nervous system upgrade that we are receiving from all of the solar activity. And anyway, I just wanted to add that information about the lithium. And I will hopefully I can connect the two videos together. Anyway, have a wonderful day. See you soon.